Hey Audrey. First off, I just want to say I hope you're enjoying Morocco. It's probably really beautiful, so I hope you're having a really great time. And I'm jealous. I wish I was there. And then second of all, I just wanted to say the reason why I decided to make this video was because as I was going through the functional challenge, I realized that I have a lot of plans and ideas and strategy and things like that in there, but not a lot of me and not a lot of that personal element and personal touch. So I wanted to kind of connect a little bit more and kind of show and explain to myself a little bit more about some of these things, about why I decided to frame this the way I did and what my thoughts and ideas were. So I kind of wanted to go through first the two parts of the actual challenge, so the S&C part and then the recruitment part, and then kind of how they tie together in my mind, and what my vision and ideas are for this. So to start off with, talking a little bit about S&C 2016, and how I planned out this agenda and what my kind of ideas and vision are for. So I started out thinking about what things really make a national conference to me, based on the ones that I've been to, and what do I think we need to focus on during conferences. So kind of the key things that I realized is, one is products, and actually talking about our products and figuring out ways to revamp them and make them better, and also talking about national strategy and direction to help sell our products better. The next thing is also doing a little bit more of the leadership and personal development aspect of it, so tying that together and providing our members with a leadership experience throughout the actual course of the conference, and then finally also giving space to plan. This S&C is always a really critical time because it's halfway through the EB terms and things like that, and it's really, really important that we give time for LCs to look at what they've done the past semester and plan ahead for the next semester. So I tried to incorporate all of those elements within the conference, and I kind of framed each day of the conference based on one of those things. So I guess I'll kind of start out by walking through the S&C agenda that I came up with, and explaining a little bit more about my thought process behind it. So the first day is obviously primarily kind of arrival, introduction kind of thing. So setting the stage for the rest of the conference, going through 2020 and things like that, and then also like setting expectations with members. The second day is focused more on what I said earlier about revamping our products. So obviously S&C is the time when the new MC comes in and introduces themselves and everything, and also talks about their vision and national plan for the coming term. So I kind of wanted to talk about how we are going to revamp our products. So I gave space specifically for first talking about how we can align our products to the Sustainable Development Goals and what that might look like, and using our membership to help frame that a little bit more too, as well as talking about Global Leader and where that's going, and framing Global Leader more as a product, and then identifying how we can make Global Leader more intentional and structured. And then finally also talking about our exchange products and how we can incorporate leadership development within exchange. So that entire day is primarily about our products and what we're doing to make our products more intentional and more leadership focused. The third day is primarily a planning day. So obviously, as you can notice, I gave a significant amount of time first for guided exchange goal kind of planning, and then second off, guided talent planning. So, starting with exchange and then moving into, okay, now you have the goals that you want, the exchange that you want. Who are the people you need? How many people do you need to achieve your goals? So my vision for that was a lot of that guided kind of structured planning space, because a lot of times, I'm sorry, a lot of times LCs don't always know how to plan. So that I think is going to be really important. And then also doing, like at the end, having a space that says like, okay, now you have your plans, here's the tools and resources we as the MC can give you to make sure that you actually implement those plans. And then the fourth day is primarily a personal development kind of day, talking about having, learning and creating that personal development plan and taking what you learned in ISIC and then implementing it outside of ISIC. So that's something that I feel very, very passionately about, is creating leaders who gain a lot of skills and development within the organization, but more importantly, take it outside of the organization to change the world. So that's the first part of it. And then moving into like global leader workshops, which would be similar to what we did at WNC, except more focused on core skills that we feel like every ISICer needs to develop at some point. And then moving into values and what we value and how our values align to ISIC's values and how the social issues that we care about also align to ISIC. And then the last day is a closing for the entire conference, obviously. So that was kind of the reason why I structured the agenda the way that I did, and I feel like I didn't get a chance to explain it well enough in the actual challenge itself, so I thought that I would explain it a little bit further. So I also included within each like session, I also included a description and objectives and everything like that. So I feel like that's fairly self-explanatory. And I think the biggest thing about making SNC a reality is just making sure that we are proactive and not putting anything off, making sure that we're all on the same page, redefining our tools, redefining our structures, things like that, making sure that we have our resources in order, and then also ensuring that ISIC US and the national plan, the national vision is aligning with the international plan. So that was kind of the first part, and walking through a little bit more of my thought process on that. And then for the second part of the challenge, I talked a little bit more about recruitment. So as I said earlier, in my SNC agenda, I had a section that ties into talent acquisition and recruitment and how you can actually get the right people to do the job that you want. So I kind of decided, so I wanted to elaborate on that a little bit more and talk about first some of the things that I noticed in terms of recruitment and in terms of actually getting the people that we want. So as a former VPTM, I've done recruitment before, and something that I noticed is in general in ISIC US, and this is something that I notice a lot when I talk to VPs at WNC, is that there's this emphasis on always recruiting more. There's an emphasis on always just getting more people, because more people means that you can do more, which is a fallacy and it's a misconception. And I think that a lot of what I want to see in terms of recruitment is making recruitment structured and strategic. So that means emphasizing talent planning is going to be a big thing. Another thing that I've noticed is that in general, a lot of LCs don't have good guidelines and framework on how to do recruitment. And a lot of times it's difficult for LCs and things change year after year and they don't have good predecessors and good transition and stuff like that. And so there's not a standard national kind of guideline for this is how you do an interview. This is how you do an assessment center. These are the things that you want to look at for selection and allocation. So a big part of if I were to be MCVPGL, I would want to provide a lot of resources to the VPs to be able to say, like, these are guidelines and frameworks that you can use, and you can take these and adapt these to your local reality, but it's also incredibly important that you follow what the national trend is. So, and then, going off of that, making sure that all of those resources are uploaded on Happy Fox and available and accessible to everyone. So that's something that I think is really important. And then finally, also making sure that we are constantly looking at our membership and constantly evaluating, are our members productive? Do we need to recruit members for unfilled JDs? And that's something that not a lot of LCs do right now, which is this kind of rolling recruitment process. So something that we did in my LC that really worked was having a wait list. And so we only recruited a certain number of people for the job descriptions that we had, but we also had a wait list of people who were also very qualified. And so as the semester went along, if people decided not to do ISIC anymore or, went abroad or whatever, we could pull people from the wait list, and that way we could fill, unfilled JDs throughout the semester. So that's something that I think is going to be really crucial because there is high attrition rates in our LCs right now. So like I said earlier, I have strategies and things like that, so I won't outline that too much. But also in terms of, finding the right student profile and where to find them and things like that, I outlined a lot of details on, I guess, the actual physical locations and things like that. But I think the biggest thing that I want to emphasize is that in my personal experience, the people who really excel and flourish in ISIC and really become what we, like to call like global leaders are those who really identify with the mission and the vision of the organization and have a desire to change the world. And I think that if we can create strategies to test that, and we can create strategies to assess that in a way that's very standardized and very structured, there's no way that we can't find the right talent. And I genuinely believe that finding the right talent and going through this process, going through talent planning, understanding how your goals and how the people you have can actually achieve those goals. I think that's something that's going to be absolutely crucial to growing disruptively and achieving our exchange goals in the coming year. So I'm already at 10 minutes and 30 seconds, so I'm not going to go any longer. But I really appreciate you listening to this, and I really appreciate you reading my challenge. And let me know if you have any questions. And again, I hope you enjoy Morocco, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you, Audrey.